As a last addition to this introductory chapter on randomized complexity classes, I want to introduce a notion that we hadn't discussed before in detail, and it really makes more sense for decision problems only. These are the one-sided error algorithms. And it actually naturally happens if you design algorithms that they happen to be one-sided just as a matter of how they're constructed. So let's look at a simplistic example, which is not a valid Monte Carlo algorithm. But just to get the point across that one-sidedness is natural in this case, it can be natural. If you look at the classic satisfiability problem, a randomized algorithm could just guess some assignment and then output whether the formula is satisfied. Now, the probability for this guess to be correct, depending on the formula, could be very, very small. And so it will not be the error guarantee we require for Monte Carlo. But the point is still, if the formula is unsatisfiable, the probability to output incorrectly that it was is zero. There's no way that this algorithm will ever say, yes, it's satisfiable if it isn't, because it always returns the true value of a formula. And so, at least in principle, this sounds like a reasonable thing to exploit, and you'll see this in this week's tutorial sheet, that it helps with amplifying probabilities. The formal definition of the class of algorithms here is the one-sided error Monte Carlo algorithms, and we'll refer to the others then as two-sided error. Just to have that on the slide, two-sided error Monte Carlo are the unrestricted ones that we considered before. If we have a language, it's only really sensible for decision problems. The algorithm has to accept a word that is in the language with probability at least 1/2. And if the word is not in the language, it has to reject it no matter what randomness plays. So acceptance is always correct, but rejection could be a lie because you can falsely reject some of the words in the language. Why this way, not the other way around? You can also define the one-sided error Monte Carlo algorithm for the complement language and talk about that. Can also make sense. Depends on the specific problem, what is more natural. And there's corresponding complexity classes for those two categories as well. These are RP and co-RP. RP is the set of languages where we have such a one-sided error Monte Carlo algorithm, and co-RP is just those where we have it for the complement language. And so again, these are somewhat similar to NP and co-NP in the sense that also there's this asymmetry. For NP, we would say there is a certificate that makes the verifier accept an input if it is a true input. Whereas if the word is not in the language, then it can never output incorrectly, yes it is. It has to reject the input for every possible certificate. So in that sense, RP and NP fit together in their way of breaking symmetries. Now, as you'll show in the exercises, if you take a language that has a one-sided error Monte Carlo algorithm of both kinds, one-sided error for L and L complement, you can turn that into one that is Las Vegas, and vice versa is easy. So in a sense, although superficially RP and co-RP feel a bit like NP and co-NP, they're really quite different. They're much weaker because for NP and co-NP, as a reminder, something you may have seen, we don't know really what happens if you take problems that are in NP and in co-NP. These are kind of awkward problems. They feel like they should maybe be in P, because they have a certificate both for yes and for no. So in both directions, it's easy to certify that an instance is a yes or a no instance if you're given the certificate, but finding the certificate is not clear in general. These are the typical types of problems where we feel they live in between P and NP complete. These tend to be problems that are in this intersection. But it's a big open problem if the intersection really is P or if there's something beyond. So you could say P is here, then we have NP around here and co-NP around here. And whether this bit is empty, that's unknown. Whereas for the randomized equivalence of NP, this is not the case, right?